economic and political empowerment. The Million Man March occurred on October 16th, 1995, and was created by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I know I'm not pronouncing his name properly, and I do apologize, and no disrespect intended. But it was to challenge the stereotypes about black men and to address social issues in the African American community, such as gangs, the crack epidemic, and the unfair drug laws. It was a day of solidarity and recommitment to family and community. It was a day of peace organized by the Nation of Islam. People from all faiths came. The Washington Mall was a sea of people seeking change. Gangbangers from Chicago were represented. The clergy was represented. There were entertainers there as well. People like Rosa Parks, Jesse Jackson, and Stevie Wonder all gathered to reframe what America thinks a black man is. The newly elected mayor, Marion Barry, also addressed the crowd. It was a day of song and prayer. They chanted and listened to speeches while being mindful of their commitment to family and community. There was heavy criticism that the women were told to stay home and be silent. Perhaps this was a mistake because many of these females were assuming both roles as a parent. Therefore, maybe they should have been included in the march as well. And that was then, and this is now. According to David A. Clark Jr., Sheriff of Milwaukee County, the theme and mood of the recent 2015 Million Man March held in the same venue in Washington, D.C. could be fairly described as not your father's 1995 experience. Some came for legitimate reasons, but you could feel the movement being hijacked, like so many other legitimate movements in the black community. The event changed names to Justice or Else and suggests not a call for self-improvement, self-determination, and self-reflection, but a call for militancy. He also goes on to say, he doesn't understand how the movement went from a call for self-determination to you owe us something that we did not earn. Criminals are not considered icons in the fight for civil rights. False claims that racism is alive and well as an institution and calls by some in attendance for Death to America, much like the chants of the Black Panthers and other antisocial misfits. According to Clark. This movement has become retrogressive, and that the well-intended people at this year's rally were powerless to get the movement back. Clark also contends that the same thing happened to the NAACP. Its mission is no longer civil rights and improving the lives of every black American, rather but to keep blacks from wandering off the plantation of liberal politics to ensure a monolithic voting pattern for liberal politicians who promote an ideology of victimhood and self-destructive behavior without consequences, and who make excuses for harmful lifestyle choices by blaming others. In the time since the 1995 Million Man March that promoted self-improvement, poverty has become a lifestyle. As government dependency has increased, and self-inflicted pathologies have worsened. Father-absent homes are still prevalent, with 70% of black children born into a mother-only led unit. Gang involvement is at an all-time high. Drug, alcohol, and child abuse are rampant. Social achievement and proper use of the English language and mainstream values are viewed as culturally insensitive. Meanwhile, thousands of black men fail to consistently stay in the workforce. Clark contends that the Million Man March movement failed miserably. The Million Man March distributed social power through activism, and perhaps Mr. Clark will be the advocate to get the program back on track.